Leykis. Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Fred writes in, and I get a lot of these letters, but I'm going to read Fred's letter, and then I'm going to comment on it. It's 5 lines. Tom, I have heard you say many times that you are a self-made multimillionaire. After losing everything through a wicked divorce, I am having to start all over again and find that the old way of working till you drop is not going to cut it in the over 40 club. Can you give me a little detail on how you made your millions, or can you direct me to a book? Thanks, Fred. Fred, I did not learn how to make money from a book. In fact, I learned how to make money by making just about every mistake you can make. But many people, and I must say, this is one of hundreds of letters I've gotten. Many people have written in to ask me about making money. We have made the connection on this program many times between getting better quality poon and having more money. The more money you have, the better a profession you have, the better ass you will get. And as you know, hardcore disciples get more ass than a toilet seat. Bottom line. But what I have decided to do is to give you my own pointers for being more successful, and then to answer your questions about this. I will tell you that at one time in Boston, the year I spent in Boston, you may find this hard to believe, but it's true. I was persuaded by a friend of mine to teach a course at an inner-city high school for the organization called Junior Achievement. And in Boston, a place that is one of the most racist, sexist, self-hating cities in the world, they have these high schools where they take all the kids they consider to be problems. Drug addicts, people with reading disorders, attention deficit disorders, pregnant students, retarded students, whatever. They throw them all into one toxic waste dump of a high school. It is every problem child in the city, or at least in this area of the city, to throw them all into one school. Of course these kids are never going to make it. Of course they're never going to succeed, because they're not around any successful students. They don't see how it's done. And so Junior Achievement came in there, and it was their feeling that if they could reach one kid or two kids, it would be worth doing. So they reached out to me, if you can believe this. Because one thing people know, whether they like my radio show or not, whether they like what I have to say or not, one thing people know is I'm rich. And I started out dirt poor. And so they thought I might have something to impart. And every week, early in the morning, I used to show up at an inner-city high school in Boston. This was not far from Copley Plaza. I went there and taught every week to a group of the most hardcore students You can imagine. And told them the basics about waking up in the morning and knowing how to become successful. On this show, we're not dealing with such a hardcore group, but what I will tell you is that many of you have not figured out, although I keep trying to tell you, the more money you make, the more successful you become, the better grade of ass you're going to get. Now, only my boys who work with me here have an idea of the cornucopia of I was gonna make alliteration out of that, but that would be a dirty word. The plethora of poon that I have purveyed. That's good. A cornucopia of cooch. Oh, that's very good. I was thinking of another C word, but that's just as good. Thank you, Brett. A cornucopia of cooch. Yes, I indeed have sampled the cornucopia, and many of those faces have passed through these windows over the course of time, and it is because I am a successful individual, but it's not limited to having a radio program. You don't have to have a radio program to do this. But many of the boys have figured out at least that much. More money, better chicks. Better profession, better chicks. And they wanted to know some of the things that I have done to be successful. So, I'm not going to get into a radio conversation about how I made it in radio, because, very few people are in the radio business. Let's start with that. But I want to talk to you about some of the basic things I've done in my life to be more successful. And then you may have some questions, and I will answer your questions, because many of you boys do want to be more successful, if for no other reason than that basic, visceral reason that men want to be more successful, to get a better piece of ass. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or Vincent Van Gogh or who you are. The reason you strive to succeed at stuff is to get better chicks. That's why guys become musicians. That's one everybody can understand. That's why guys love to go around saying, hello, I'm an artist. Hello, I'm a poet. I mean, the point is, the better known you are, the more successful you are, the more money you make, the better ass you get. So let's review some of the things I've done in my own life that I credit with making me successful today. And things I could have done better and would have been more successful. Because that's something else I know. I'm no perfect person. I'd have more money and more success today if, number one, I stayed in school all the way through. I couldn't afford to. I should have found any way, even if I had to take a few credits every semester, I should have gone to school all the way through. Getting married at 18, big mistake. I teach you boys about this all the time. Many of you are not listening. It was wrong to have a girlfriend, a live-in, or a wife. And it cost me years of my career. It cost me years of valuable time. And in some ways, it kept me from finishing my education. Shouldn't have done that. Other things that I should have done earlier. I should have starved for my career earlier. I should have held out for what I wanted to do, but instead I took all these day jobs and got bogged down in them like quicksand. Bogged down in these goddamn day jobs. Sometimes you just have to say, look, I am in my case, a radio personality. And if nobody wants to hire me, I'm going to take the lowest of the low jobs and work my way up if that's what I have to do. Now, in order to do that, you have to sacrifice certain things. No girlfriends, no wives, no living with mommy and daddy who will always try to influence what it is you're going to do in life. And very importantly, boys, and I know you don't see the connection here, you got to wear a rubber and prevent these psycho bitches from hell from having your child and essentially holding you hostage for the rest of your life. I can't tell you how many just absolutely sad, heartbreaking letters I get from guys who for one night, 30 seconds of spooge, all of a sudden they got no career left. They got no life left. I hear from you boys all the time. I will tell you, it is no accident that I made it to my age without kids. I don't have kids, not because I don't like them. I do like them. I like kids. But I knew having kids too early in my life would mean I couldn't pursue my career. It would mean I couldn't work as hard as I did. I couldn't work as many hours as I did. I wouldn't have been free to move to whatever cities had work. One of the things I did to be successful, I went where the work was. I moved 9 times. I kept going where the better jobs were. I kept going for the better offers. I didn't say, hey, all my buddies live here in Albany, New York, and I'm going to stay here. I kept going. One of the things people do, I must tell you, and I know I'm going to sound cold-hearted, it's going to sound terrible, they make a bunch of friends and they say, that's it, I'm not leaving this particular city. If I can't make it here, I'll be a plumber. If I can't make it here, I'll deliver pizzas. I don't care. You know what? Don't do that. To be successful, you frequently have to move away, to go to school, to work your way up in a profession. Sometimes there's just parts of the country that are better for doing the thing you want to do than other parts. You might not live in a good part of the country to do the stuff you want to do. You may just have to leave town. The minute you let friends, girlfriends, wives, children, or anybody else, parents, neighbors, acquaintances, distant relatives, or anybody influence your decisions, you are dead. Why are so few people really successful? I'm going to tell you the cold, hard truth. Because most people don't have the balls to say, I don't care what my mommy and daddy think. I don't care what my high school sweetheart thinks. I don't care what my friends think. I don't care what my children think. I don't care what people think of me because I won't have children. Most people don't have the balls to say the most important thing is me and being successful. I can't make other people as happy today as I will be able to make them years from now if I stick to my plan and don't let other people influence me. You can't let other people influence you. You can't care about what other people think of what you want to do. My parents did not want me to do this for a living, and they actively did things to stop me from succeeding, including my dad would not help me pay for college. You know what I told my dad? F you. I left home at 16. I said, I'm doing it. I don't care. And I left. Most people don't have the balls to do that. Most people are afraid to do that. Are you afraid to do that? If you are, you'll never be successful at anything. Ever. You'll never do any better than your dad did. That's it. That's as good as it's going to get. How many people are about to graduate high school and they look around and they go, oh, I love my friends. I love going to the prom. I love hanging out here with everybody. You know what? I just want to stay here in this small town, in this suburb. Sure, I'll go become a cashier at Walmart, but I'll be here with all the guys I went to high school with, and it'll be great. No, it won't. Getting good grades and not getting stuck in a community college where you are pigeonholed as a loser, it's well worth your while to bust your ass and get better grades. Play along with the goddamn system. I wish I had played along better with the system. It wouldn't have been as hard to succeed as it was for me. Now, these are just some basics. You may have some specific questions, and the younger you are, the better. But I'm telling you, the biggest flaw people have is that they allow the whole rest of the world to decide for them what's good for them. They worry about what the mom and dad think. They worry about what the brothers and sisters think. Aunts and uncles, cousins, grandparents, neighbors, high school friends, college buddies, They worry about that stuff. You know what? You can't worry about that stuff. Because you know what most people want for you, and this is the dirty little secret, including my own dad. I'm going to tell you, this is what everybody is thinking. They don't want you to do any better than they're doing. I'll give you an example of how people are like this. Have you ever been on a diet? I mean, you're struggling, right? You gave up the cheesecake, you gave up the pizza, you gave up the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there's always those people going, come on, just one piece of cheesecake, come on! Look at out of the Cheesecake Factory, we'll just have one slice, come on! That is somebody who's afraid you're going to look better than they did. Who's afraid that you'll accomplish something they couldn't, that you'll do something they didn't do, that you'll have the balls to finish something that they don't have the balls to finish. You know what? That's how people are with your career. That's how they are with your education. Even your own parents, the people who are supposed to want what's good for you, in many cases don't want you to do better than they're doing. The result is most people can't fight the feeling, they can't fight the force, they can't fight it. So they give up and they say, what the hell, I'm not going to be any better than anybody else. And then they're not. You know what? When I was a kid, here's what I said to myself, and this is one of the keys. I said, I'm better than these losers. I'm better. I'm better. And it's up to me to prove it. So I went out, and I nearly went bankrupt, and I took every risk in the world. But I never allowed myself to be swayed by girlfriends, even though I had 4 wives, never allowed them to sway me. The minute a woman tried to dissuade me from doing my career or tried to encourage me to retire, she got drop-kicked. Because that's what you have to do. There's no piece of ass worth giving up your career. Now, if you have questions for me, I'm here to answer those. 1-800-5800-TOM. The more money you make, the more power you have. The more power you have, the more money you have. The more money you have, the more power you have. The more money and power you have, the more poon you can consume. The Tom Leykis Show.
Leykis on Hot Talk 1080 KOTK.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Let's say hello here to Tony on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tony.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Hey, I just want to let you know about myself. I'm 21. I'm a licensed airplane mechanic, and I'm also going to school to become an engineer. And I let nothing come in my way. And
do people try to stop you?
You know, I've had a few bumps along the way. You know, my first major job, I got laid off, and my dad told me, he's like, hey, why don't you move back, you know, go to work with me and stuff. And my mom, she was really supportive. She said, you know, go for your dreams and stuff. And so
yeah, well, do not go to work with your dad unless your dad's name happens to be Bill Gates. Thanks a lot for the call. The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show. From Los Angeles, 1-800-5800-TOM. People have been writing to me and asking me about becoming more successful. And I have indeed had financial success. And so I've given you some of the things that I've done to succeed, and I'm answering your questions. Renee on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Renee.
Tom?
Yeah.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I couldn't agree with you more on the opinion of others and the decisions that one would make. However, I've got a couple of questions for you. How do you figure that, well, you might, the more success that you have, you might get a prettier piece of ass. However, you're definitely not necessarily getting the best piece of ass.
Well, you're assuming, then, that the best pieces of ass are not that attractive.
Well, half the time, you guys don't even need to really be looking at the piece of ass to be getting off. Can you explain to me why the only ones that can really afford the 900 number fantasy phone lines are the ones with the money, and they're able to get off believing that it's a 5'9" blonde with, blue eyes.
I can't speak for guys called 900 numbers. I don't do that. I'm not into porno. I don't really care.
Okay, but the ones that can only afford the 900 numbers are the ones that have the money.
I disagree. I would say I completely disagree with you. As a man with money who knows other men with money, the men who call 900 numbers are the ones who can least afford it.
Well, no.
That is also the men who are the biggest gamblers. The men who make the stupidest investments. They're mostly the men who don't have any money.
Well, the first orgasm is usually the National Geographic and Sears catalog at age 13. And from there,
what does that have to do with what you just said? I don't understand.
Goes from there to Playboy, and from Playboy to fantasizing about the woman that you just saw.
But when you have money, let me tell you something, sweetheart. When you have money, you don't need to buy Playboy magazine. You know what? I've had Playboy models. I don't need to read Playboy magazine.
Okay, but the Playboy models are just that, models.
No, they're people.
And
modeling is a profession.
Physically, they're...
I know that in order to keep getting up every day and not blowing your brains out, you have to convince yourself that models are complete idiots who are not interesting. Nobody would want to be with them. Nobody would want to hang out with them. I hate to burst your bubble, darling, but models are like anybody else. Some of them are complete blithering idiots, and some of them are brilliant.
I agree. I happen to be one. However,
You're a model.
Yes.
At 41, what are you modeling at 41?
I'm 5'9", 125 pounds.
But you're 41. What are you modeling? It depends. What are you modeling?
I model for sales.
Sales. So does your whole body appear in the ad? You're a hand model.
Yes, it does.
I've never seen a whole body in a sales ad.
I did a bathing suit advertisement for the Dominican Republic.
For the Dominican Republic. How about the United States of America?
The United States of America is where I live.
No, but do you work here?
Yes, I do.
You do work that is seen here?
Yes, I've done work for years and years. And
I know, but now you're 41, and what is your point?
I don't look 41.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
they all say
that. I'm proud of being 41.
Yes, I know. Why are you bringing all this up? This isn't about you.
Okay, no, I have a question. I have several questions.
When will you get to those? You've been on the air 3.5 minutes.
Well, you haven't answered the ones that I came up with from the very beginning.
You haven't asked me any.
Yeah. If you'd stop interrupting me...
No, don't tell me how to do the show, darling. If you were an expert at doing the show, you'd be down here at the radio station doing the show and not calling in.
To ask the questions.
What are the questions? Get to them, please.
Okay. You're saying the more money that you have, the better piece of ass.
Yes.
Okay. How do you consider the better piece of ass? I mean, just because of the age or...
all of it.
The way
younger, hotter, more ample, all of it.
More ample.
Yeah, better boobs, better asses.
They have no experience.
Experience at what?
At sex.
Please, dear. They're exactly the ones who have experience at sex. Are you kidding me?
A woman reaches her peak at 30.
Dear, I don't care about reaching her peak. What you do not understand is that girls start developing these days at 9 and 10. They have boyfriends by 13. They've had 20 boyfriends by the time they're 18. Girls have a lot more experience today than they did when you were 18, dear.
Experience, yes, but the one...
You just said they have no experience.
A female doesn't necessarily know exactly what the hell she's doing.
I don't really care if she has an orgasm as long as I'm having a goddamn orgasm. I'm a man. What do I care?
Well, because most men have orgasms when the woman has an orgasm nowadays.
You want to know something? You're wrong. Men have orgasms whether or not women have orgasms.
I don't.
Countless women call talk shows to complain about that.
Try to hold back having an orgasm in most cases.
How do you know what we do? Are you a man? Are you a transsexual?
I'm not.
How do you know what men do?
Because I've researched it.
How have you researched this? While you're on your back?
No, I've started to write a book.
Or you started to write a book, I see.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
So at 41, I not only...
And when will this be coming out, this book? You have a publisher, I take it?
The publisher, I'm not going to say on the radio.
Because you don't have one.
They choose not to.
Right.
No, I have a publisher.
I know. Publishers hate publicity. They hate promoting books. They never send press releases to talk shows
the book isn't finished.
or review copies or anything like that.
This conversation.
Yeah, we didn't hear about Hillary Clinton's book for years before it came out, did we?
Hillary Clinton...
had a book that sold books as opposed to your book.
Okay, the more money and the more power that someone has also puts them in a position of being blackmailed.
Dear, how would you know?
Okay, Clinton is a great example.
Clinton is a great example. Clinton went out and was in the White House and got a BJ from an intern. While he was married and living in the White House. I mean, come on. What? He didn't get blackmailed because he was rich. He got blackmailed because he was married and had a high-profile job, and he went and did something he wasn't supposed to do.
I'm sure Mrs. Clinton.
And by the way, he didn't lose his job. He didn't lose his position.
Reelected?
What?
He didn't get reelected?
You couldn't get reelected because, dear, have you read the Constitution?
He was running for office in a different level.
Where? Where was he running for office?
Okay, his wife.
Where was Bill Clinton running for office?
He wanted to.
I've got you now. Where was he running for office specifically?
Clinton was trying to be mayor.
Where?
In the Bronx, I think it was.
The mayor of the Bronx. Is that a city?
It's a part of New York.
I see, and it has a mayor? Who's the mayor of the Bronx now?
The Bronx is where his office is. That's where he was running.
No, his office is not in the Bronx. You are wrong. You are wrong. Now I know how little you know.
His campaign started in the Bronx.
Dear, the Bronx does not have a mayor.
Several comedians
you ignorant moron. The Bronx does not have a mayor because it's not a city. Number one.
I'm not saying that the Bronx is the city.
You just said he ran for mayor.
His campaign started in the Bronx.
What? Campaign for what?
For mayor.
Of what?
Of New York.
What year did he run for mayor of New York City?
He didn't get it. He didn't get very far because of what happened with the girl.
Oh, yeah, I see. And since when is his office in the Bronx? When did it move?
His wife.
When did Bill Clinton's office move to the Bronx?
His office has been in the Bronx.
No, it has never been in the Bronx. You are wrong.
There's been many comedians that have joked.
I don't care what, dear, is that where you're getting your news from, comedians? The fact is, Bill Clinton has never had an office in the Bronx.
Yes.
I will bet you this week's salary that Bill Clinton has never had an office in the Bronx. Are you game?
What office are you speaking of? Like office in
his office.
I'm talking about an office like any office anybody else would have.
That's what I'm talking about. I will bet you my salary this week that Bill Clinton does not and has not ever had an office in the Bronx.
Yes, he has.
How much do you want to bet me?
Well, you said this week.
You're so certain. All right, you'll bet? And that means you'll pay me the equivalent of my salary this week if I'm right.
You bet.
Since you got that big book advance. Really?
Oh, yes.
That is just great. All right, you hang on there. Dean is going to get all your information, and we're going to give out your name on the air.
Okay.
We're going to give out your name on the air, and we're going to tell you where to send that check, darling.
Okay, well...
And we're going to find... And by the way, if you try to hide, we've got an 800 number here. We've got your phone number.
I don't have to.
And we will track you down to the ends of the earth. So you are going to pay, because you just agreed in front of 3 million people to bet me.
You are going to pay.
I'm paying nothing.
How do you know that I'm not the other just?
How do I know what?
How do you know I'm not the other Monica Lewinsky? I know about an office that you don't even know about.
No, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do.
You're so full of crap. All right.
Okay, well, put you on the phone.
Yes, you're a model from New Mexico who's writing a book, and you know about Bill Clinton's hidden office in the Bronx.
How do I know you're going to send me my money?
Because, you know what? Because everybody knows who I am. My credibility would be at stake if I was wrong. I'm a public figure.
Your credibility?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay,
yes.
Well, that's a question already.
I would not make a statement like that on the air if I didn't plan to be honorable, believe me.
Okay, well,
But the fact is, you're an anonymous individual who once I prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that you're completely wrong and that you owe me a 5-figure sum for this phone conversation, and then when you don't... Yeah, a 5-figure sum, because that's how much I make every week. Huh?
I'm the one that's going to be paying.
I'm not paying anything, dear.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Don't worry. Hang on. We're going to get all your information, and we're going to kick your ass. Write that down. Unbelievable.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You know what? The only time I want to see a woman hot and sweaty is when she's looking around my bedroom for her panties while I call her a cab.
There we go, baby. You're absolutely right.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Dean is still trying to get Renee's information so he can procure the 5-figure sum that she owes me. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Matt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How's it going, Tom?
Pretty good, Matt.
I had a question for you. Right now, I'm 21 years old, and I bring home a little over $50,000 a year. I've been making that since I was 19. And, I mean, you know, I've accumulated some things since, you know, I've been working and stuff. And I'm kind of materialistic. Well, I kind of break a rule, but I have a girlfriend I've had for 4 years now. And
that's strike one.
Yeah, I know.
And what college are you attending?
What was that?
What college are you attending?
I'm not going to college right now.
Strike two.
My work actually puts me through school, through an elevator school. I work on elevators.
What is an elevator school? You practice going up and going down?
No, they teach you all the electronics, all the electricity. They teach you the mechanics and all that. I've been in for 2 years now, so I have a really good understanding how the elevator.
What is your ultimate goal?
Well, I want to basically be an elevator mechanic, but I want to have businesses on the side and stuff like that. And
why do you need to have businesses on the side? Why not do the businesses on the side as your business?
Exactly. But right now I have a guaranteed income, and But
the point is you're 21 years old. You don't need a guaranteed income.
I'm making really good money right now, though.
What's the most an elevator engineer has ever made? The best one who ever lived?
You can make, say how much overtime stuff you can get. You can make $160,000 a year, $140,000.
That's the most you'll ever make, and you have to work overtime to get it.
Yeah.
Is that really something to aspire to?
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like I should do better, and, I have, a couple of people telling me that, I'm too materialistic and I shouldn't worry so much about money. And those
of course, those are the people who are losers.
Exactly. And
the only people who say, you can't buy everything with money, those are the losers.
Exactly. And you need money in the world. You need money in your life to succeed and to have anything. You need money. If you don't have money, you have to worry and everything else.
Right.
It makes life so much easier.
What do you really want to be?
To tell you the truth, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be successful.
Matt, you're 21 years old.
Right.
It's time to grow up.
Well, see, that's the thing. I feel like I am growing up. I have an adult career.
But But that's not what you want to do with your life. You're keeping that job because for 21 it pays pretty good money.
Yeah.
But for 31 it pays average money, and for 41 it doesn't pay enough money.
That's kind of true, depending how you look at it. I mean,
that's how you have to look at it, Matt.
What is average making, though? I mean, what is an average salary? For like a 41, 41-year-old man?
Well, for one thing, it goes up dramatically between 21 and 31, and 31 and 41. It goes up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you know that today I'm 46 years old, and today I am making 5 times what I was making 10 years ago?
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
the point is, you have to stop looking at it as a 21-year-old.
Uh-huh.
You have to start looking ahead.
Right.
Would that really be enough money if you were 31 or 41?
Well, by the time I'm 25, I should be done with my school, and I'll be bringing home over $100,000 a year. That's really good for 25. Now, I don't know where I can go from there.
And that's if you work overtime, and if you get overtime. And that's if the economy doesn't continue in the crapper.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So there's a lot riding on this. And plus all of that, you don't want to do this all your life, do you?
I do, but I kind of...
I do, but is not an answer.
Yeah, exactly.
You do or you don't. You see, you're too old now, Matt, to be saying, well, I knew but I don't. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Mm-hmm. You know what? You're not a kid anymore.
Yeah. And to say the truth, I do. I want to be I want to be like an entrepreneur. I want to build something from the ground up, and I want to...
But you don't even know what it is.
I have lots of ideas, but I haven't pinpointed one yet.
Right. Have you gone to school to learn, instead of learning elevator mechanics, Have you learned anything about business administration or economics?
No, actually, I'm enrolled for next semester to take a business class. I don't have too much time because I work, so I gotta take like one at a time.
You know what? You need to focus on what you really want to be, and then start learning how to be that.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You know the definitions of the word slut and the word bitch, right?